Hey, my name is Liz, and I'm from Chicago, Illinois.
Liz, so you had a real bad date. Did you
Yep.
end up paying?
No, actually, I didn't end up paying. It was still bad,
Okay.
I promise.
Did you give this person a kiss?
I did. Yep. Of many, actually.
Okay, and so did you see this person ever again?
I have seen this person one other time. Yep.
Okay, so what's the first thing that happened that you remember?
So I met this person. I was waitressing at a restaurant, and he sat at a table that I was serving. And when he left, he sat by himself and he ate some lunch alone. And then when he left his Instagram on the check with a large tip. And I was like, ooh, okay, cute boy left me his Instagram. Let's give him a follow. So that's how I first met him.
Did that happen often to you, waitressing? Like, do guys leave their phone numbers or social media?
No, it only happened to me. I wasn't waitressing that long, and I think it happened like 2 or 3 times. I think a lot of people aren't super like they don't want to be creepy. But yeah, it happened a few times. I guess to hotter girls maybe it happens all the time, but for me, also I worked in like a family pizza place, so it wasn't like the vibe to just like flirt with people.
Did you or do you prefer to meet people in person versus online, or does it not matter to you?
I think being like a romantic, I would rather meet people in person, but I am not above or against online dating. I think it's definitely how it has to be, especially with the pandemic. It's much easier to date people online, but if I had it my way, I would have a crazy story where I met my person in person.
So, you gave this person a follow on Instagram. How
He
did it
did. He
proceed
did.
from there?
Well, I gave him a follow on Instagram. He followed me back, and he had taken a picture of the food of the lunch at the restaurant, right? So I commented on it, or I responded to his story, and I said, "Looks familiar," because he had just eaten like half an hour earlier. And he said, "Oh, I was hoping it would, and glad you followed me." So that's kind of how it started. Was just he posted a picture of the food, and we started chatting back and forth on Instagram.
Would you like rather someone give their Instagram or phone number? Doesn't matter to you?
I kind of prefer people doing Instagram, or if they're going to ask me for mine. Like, for example, I was on the street in Brooklyn, and some dude on roller skates just like approached me and started talking to me. And then at the end of the conversation, he like asked for my number. And I was like, you can have my Instagram. I don't know. Somehow it feels safer to give someone your Instagram because, you could always like block them or whatever. But I'm not like huge on the phone number thing. So I feel like social media is like the safer bet. But I wouldn't mind either way. Depends on the person.
Got it. Okay, so how long were you guys messaging before you guys actually went out on a date?
I think we messaged on Instagram and then converted to texting over the course of the week. The week we met on a Sunday, talked over the weekdays, and then we went on our first real date that weekend.
Got it. Okay. So first impressions when you see him on the first date, what happens?
Oh my gosh. First impression, he was early. He got there before me, which I was like, okay. Dressed super like slick, super like fashionable. He was hot. I don't know what else to tell you. Hot, good facial hair, great smile. I picked the restaurant, but cute restaurant. Impressions all around were great.
So it sounds like he's winning from meeting you to first impressions. So
Yeah.
what happens next?
Haha, I'll tell you. So the date, it went really well. We're having a great time. We're talking about our lives and our families, and one thing leads to another. We end up going to his place, and everything's fine. We hang out, whatever. It gets late, and I'm gonna stay the night. I sleep over, which is bold for the first time hanging out with someone. I'll say it, bold choice. I didn't make that decision lightly. He seemed like a really fun, cool guy. Right. Next thing I know, I'm kind of like woken up and it's 8 a.m. Or I didn't know it was 8, it was early. And I wear contacts and glasses, so I can't see things very well in the morning when I first wake up. And I hear a knock, and he's asleep, snoring next to me. And I hear a knock on the door to his bedroom. Now, it wasn't like a knock on the door to the apartment, like it was some delivery or something. It was a knock on the door to the bedroom. And I was like, maybe it's, my brain's like, it's half asleep. I'm like, maybe it's maintenance. Maybe it's, his landlord made an appointment and he forgot. So I'm kind of like, and I'm also a little bit scared. I'm a little bit jarred. And the door
Does he live alone?
Open. He lives alone.
So he lives alone, no roommates, so he can't be a roommate.
No roommates, it's not a roommate, he lives alone. And then the door swings open. Mind you, I'm in a state, I'm asleep and not fully enclosed. The door swings open. I can't see shit. And it's a person with a big, like, black beanie cap and a mask on and a big, like, winter coat. And I'm like, oh my God, this is it. This is how I die. Like, it started great. Now I'm going to die in this dude's room. And then I hear, after the door swings open, I hear a voice. And it's distinctly a woman's voice. And she says, "Hi." And I was like, no freaking way, no. And I literally started saying that out loud. I was like, are you? And I was like, I'm talking to the woman. I'm like, I am so sorry. Like, I didn't know. Meanwhile, I'm throwing my clothes on. I'm like grabbing everything. He's like half asleep. He's like, what's going on? And I was like, oh my God. So I started picking up all my stuff. I'm apologizing like profusely to this girl. And I feel so bad. And she's like, oh no, like, you're cool, whatever, it's not your fault. And I'm like, I guess not. And I'm like running and grabbing things. And my phone was dead. So I'm not running, but like I'm scurrying to like a rat leaving the apartment. And he kind of comes running and like peeks his head down the wall. And he's like, hey, I'll text you. And I was like, don't do that. Don't freaking, I think what I actually said was like, don't bother. I think I said that and then kept walking. But unfortunately, my phone was dead and he was in an entirely different part of town than me. So I just like used my best guess to hop on a bus. And it was still COVID, mind you. So I hop on a bus and try to get my way home. And I ended up walking like a mile home in winter. It was awful.
Okay, so you weren't robbed or harmed.
I was not robbed
physically.
or harmed. No, only of my pride. Only of my pride.
Did she have like a weapon in her hand?
No. She is harmless. She was just a scorned woman, and I don't freaking blame her.
It's just because you said the mask, and I'm like, I mean, first thing for me, it's like, oh, I'm about to get robbed or killed. So I'm assuming she has like a bat or like something, like the bat from Walking Dead, Negan, something.
Yes, she definitely did not have a bat like in The Walking Dead. And I didn't have, like I said, I didn't have my contacts on, so I couldn't differentiate what she was wearing and what she was holding very well because I can't see far away very well. So yeah, it was definitely very alarming. I have never, like, that was the best cup of coffee, best alarm clock ever in the world. I was awake after that happened. That woke me right up. And I was just so shook because, like I said, it was cute. He left his Instagram. He wanted to go on the date with me. He was telling me, he's like, yeah, like, I'm really shy. He's like, he's, really painting this picture that he's this one type of way. And, oh my God, I just felt so bad. I was like, oh my God, this poor girl. But, lucky she got out of there while she could, I guess.
So did you hear from him again, or?
I did. He tried to call me and, explain. He said, well, she's not really my girlfriend. She's my ex-girlfriend, and she's crazy. And she wasn't even supposed to have a key to my apartment. She just showed up, and, like, he made it seem like he was, the victim and she was the bad guy, Chun-Li. And I was like, totally. Yeah, that makes sense. No, I totally did not believe him. And he still has me on Instagram, and he still responds to my shit sometimes, or like will try and text me and be like, what's up? And I'm like, oh my goodness. No, absolutely not, man. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. I don't care how hot you are. And he is hot, trust me. But It's a no from me, dog.
This is a portion where I guess where it happened, and I think you met the guy in real life. And so we can put met in real life / Instagram, but I mean, do you have any last advice for people?
I think, go into any situation with an open mind and an open heart, and don't, let's be able to laugh at ourselves when it goes poorly, because there's going to be shitty people everywhere, and you're just going to have to laugh it off and run out of the apartment. And my advice would be, if this ever happened to you, don't ever hang out with him again. He's not a good, until he showed you his true colors, and you better watch and listen to him.